Though they seem to be finally getting over their hang-ups and miscommunications of the past 2 seasons, Sullivan's Crossing Season 3 cemented the fact that Maggie and Cal should not be the show's main couple. Unfortunately, Sullivan's Crossing Season 3 also already killed the best option to replace them. Maggie and Cal had an extraordinarily tumultuous will-they romance throughout the first 2 seasons of Sullivan's Crossing. Maggie spent Season 1 being torn between her controlling fiancé, Andrew, and her attraction to Cal. Sullivan's Crossing Season 2 found her pregnant with Andrew's baby and considering going back to him out of a sense of obligation, a frustrating regression for many viewers. Just when it seemed that the couple had finally cleared the last hurdle and were in a good place, this time, it was Cal whose insecurities threatened to wreck the relationship. The ending of Sullivan's Crossing Season 3 introduced yet another unrealistic hurdle at the couple in the form of Liam, who introduced himself as Maggie's husband, something one would think she might have mentioned at any point in the last 3 seasons. Sullivan's Crossing desperately needs a better central couple. But the other current couples won't cut it. It's clear by now, if Sullivan's Crossing continues to put the vast majority of its focus on Maggie and Cal, it will run aground. Another couple must replace them, or at least be an alternative option to keep audiences invested. While there are other romantic couples on the show, they're not cutting it. Frank and Edna Cranebear are wonderful, but they're established and there's little romantic tension there. Sully and his new romantic interest, Helen, are apparently going to be in Ireland for part of next season. Sydney and Rafe seem destined for a breakup, and are deeply annoying, while Rob and Jane are simply two-dimensional thus far. A new, young couple needs to rival Maggie and Cal for central focus. Maggie and Cal are problematic. There are several valid criticisms from fans. Morgan Cohen's Maggie and Chad Michael Murray's Cal stand at a lake in Sullivan's Crossing. While there are no doubt fans who love Maggie and Cal together as a couple, there are also plenty who can't stand them, which is not great for a romantic drama that is driven entirely by their relationship. The dislike revolves around 2 main criticisms, and they are both valid. The first is that, fine actors though they are on their own, Maggie Cohen and Chad Michael Murray simply have no believable chemistry together. Of course, that's subjective, where one person may see absolutely no chemistry, another may see sizzling sparks. Still, the criticism is there. Second is that Maggie has been a less than stellar protagonist or romantic partner. It's hard at times to understand what Cal saw in her, especially at the beginning. She's been selfish, emotionally stunted, hypocritical, and now, in Sullivan's Crossing Season 3's most ridiculous twist, appears to have an entire husband she's hidden from Cal, and previously from her ex-fiancé, Andrew. Regardless of how one feels about their chemistry or about Maggie's lagging emotional maturity, it's hard to argue that their storyline has grown stagnant. Just when it seems as though they've finally ironed out their problems, they regress or there's another contrived plot twist to manufacture drama. While the focus will never be completely off them as the primary romantic protagonists, Sullivan's Crossing Season 4 desperately needs another potential romance to root for. Unfortunately, the most promising new couple was already seemingly ended before it could even begin this season, Lola Gunderson and Jacob Cranebear. Lola and Jacob had so much more potential than Maggie and Cal. Their relationship was sweeter and felt more earned. After being one of the most annoying characters in Sullivan's Crossing Season 1, making decisions that could have easily seen her become a full-blown villain, Lola has matured an enormous amount in the past few seasons. The Lola of Sullivan's Crossing Season 3 is one of the steadiest and most level-headed characters on the show. While she's a little awkward and naive in love, she is, in many ways, far more emotionally mature than Maggie. Once Lola got past her childhood trauma and decided to grow up, she grew up on every level. So it was really great to see her finally get a love interest of her own in the form of Frank Cranebear's young cousin, Jacob, who is studying biology in college and came to Timberlake to visit. Lola and Jacob's romance was a sweet one, and their emotional connection really felt earned, unlike Maggie and Cal, who seemed to have nothing in common at first other than physical attraction. Just when it seemed a new, great romance was sparking between them, however, it ended when Jacob was told he had to return to his studies or be kicked out of the program. It was here that Lola and Jacob both showed their maturity, originally proving why they are a far better and more interesting couple to watch, right as their brief romance ended. Lola wouldn't let Jacob give up his studies for her, and while he was initially hurt, he later admitted she was right, and they parted on great terms with no hard feelings. Unlike Maggie and Cal, however, where each open, adult conversation is undermined by the fact Maggie will inevitably regress and they'll both backslide, the new level of trust and openness Lola and Jacob reached in just one season of Sullivan's Crossing felt permanent. Hopefully, Jacob returns next season somehow and he and Lola can keep their romance kindled. If not, it's completely wasted potential at a time when the show desperately needs it.